It's been a wet and wild week in Sydney this week, and it has continued into the weekend, and almost as if on cue, the rain starts to fall here. We're live from Blacktown. We've got the round 4 clash between the Manly Warringah Giants and the North Shore Bombers. And as I said, the week has been full of rain, and you can just see it coming in here now. It is starting to rain very heavily prior to the commencement of this match. We were supposed to be out at Mike Kenny Oval covering the Pennant Hills versus East Coast Eagles game, and of course unable to do that due to the venue not having a covered area. So we find ourselves in Blacktown, and we find ourselves with an intriguing contest. These two teams, local derby of course, not so local venue here at Blacktown, but it should be a good contest, and this rain is going to affect it very much so. We just saw the reserve grade game finish with a total of 6 goals scored for the entire match. So goals are going to be hard to come by, and as you can see, the rain is really starting to come down heavily now here at Blacktown. I expect the puddles to form. The ground itself is held out very well despite the rain, and of course the luxury of having a covered centre wicket area here does help. We have had a couple of games played out here, so the rain has soaked into the ground. It is going to be a tough, dour contest between these two traditional rivals in North Shore and Manly. Manly at the moment sitting third on the AFL Sydney ladder behind Pennant Hills and the Eagles. And North Shore, well, they've only picked up the one win for the season. That was against Western Suburbs, and they need a win this afternoon to really stay in touch with that top 5 and maybe push their claim on a final spot come the end of the season. We're just waiting for the commencement of the game, and you can see the rain really starting to fall now, and it's going to be a bit like this all afternoon. You get the feeling. It was predicted storms to come through around about this time in the afternoon, so unfortunately the Weather Bureau has got this one right, and we wait to see how the rest of the afternoon pans out. Both teams just waiting at the moment. We are running a little bit behind. I'm not sure what the hold-up is. Umpires are out, the teams are out. And there's no real reason why this one shouldn't be getting underway. No apparent reason, at least. The goal umpire's still in the middle of the ground. So we wait on commencement. I'm not sure if they're waiting for a break in the weather, because it is not coming. And in fact, it is just teeming down at the moment. It's been a couple of weeks of wet football in Sydney. A lot of ground closures due to the rain. Of course, this game originally scheduled to be played out at Weldon Park. One being closed this afternoon. There's an obvious situation here. I'm not sure what it is. The teams are breaking now. There's been no sirens to hurry it up. That may have been the biggest problem, but there is this clock on the scoreboard. Maybe they're waiting for a 2:10 start. Goal umpire's moving out at the moment. And this, well, either way, whichever way you look at it, it's either going to be a lot of fun or not very fun at all for those playing out there. Stability on the feet is going to be a key, although you can forgive all players in that area. It's just going to be a case of getting the ball moving forward at all costs. Might be a little bit of a leveler, you would say, going into this match, that Manly were hot favourites to take this one out, but with the rain falling, it may be a little bit of an opportunity for North Shore. It really does take out the likes of Braden Fowler, who very strong in the air. So we're just set now. Centre circle being set off the middle wicket pitch, which is a great decision to do that this afternoon. Really is going to get set in right at the start of the game. Umpires are in position. Holds the ball aloft. We're underway in the round 4 game. As Ball comes clear. It's going out to this near wing from Manly Warringah. And he's head over the ball, Robertson. He's tackled by Fitzgerald. A good tackle. Decides to pump it forward. And it just goes out of bounds. And expect a lot of that this afternoon. Just batting the ball forward. Fitzgerald on an occasion working the boundary line. The ball comes back in. Third man up at the back there was Fowler. Just trying to get the ball going forward. Once this ball gets waterlogged, it's going to be very difficult. Plenty of players around this one. And another ball up is the result. Robertson it was at the bottom of the pack. Unopposed there in the ruck. Just falls down. A quick scrubby kick out of the pack gets the Giants going forward, and the mark is taken. And a good mark in the wet by Polar Smith. We saw a bit of him a couple of weeks back. Very handy player up forward for Manly Warringah. Decides to go short, looking for a player. Umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt there. I think the mark's taken by Hurrell. They'll work the boundary line North Shore, and they'll find it. Boundary throw in. As I said, the reserve grade game, a total of 6 goals for the entire match. Doesn't bode well for a free-flowing affair. Look at the ruck there. That was Bonnie for the Giants. Just lost his footing at the crucial stage. Wrapped up in the tackle now. Umpire will say, I'll have it. We've had 4 ruck contests, 5 ruck contests within 2 minutes. Always play on. Giants working it around. It's a learning experience there for Wern. Tried to take it in front of the hands, but now on a little bit of a run goes Batten. Goes to the far side. Robertson's been lively early. Gets rid of the tackle of Fitzgerald. Swings around onto the right. How will this bounce? It'll be a good mark taken on the last line by Chris Murphy. Murphy comes close. Just a little bit too... Not enough, in fact, on the kick to Carruthers. And a good spoil sees the ball out of bounds. Manly have another shot at it. Feeling the boundary umpire on this side is going to be worked well over this afternoon. Here comes Polar Smith working into the ruck. No one real gets the advantage. Polar Smith goes in and gets it. Really make an attempt to get rid of it. Happy to just lock it up and ride the tackle of Murphy. Once again, not sure winning the ruck on this contest, but no real advantage, especially in the conditions. Keep pushing through there. Trying to pick up some of these numbers. There were a couple of late changes for North Shore. Calendar. The kick eventually goes to Carruthers. Goes to the far side. Got a bit of run through Fitzgerald. On the boot forward. It was a good looking kick. Unable to be taken. That was Jello. And exciting player Alex Jello. Seen a bit of him through the junior ranks. Great to see him out here playing a bit of senior football this afternoon. The ball goes out of bounds far side of Blacktown International Sports Park. You can see the big cover that was on the cricket area prior to the commencement of matches today. Manly get this one away from the throw-in. Polar Smith trying to invent something. Does well, gets it to Batten. He's dispossessed. The ball's still going forward for the Giants. He eventually gets it back. Nice little handball to Robertson. Robertson runs into goal and kicks the first for the Giants. And that's a great goal in conditions. And Manly get first blood. Really good work from the boundary throw-in. See coming forward here, nice little touchdown to Batten. Dispossessed of initially. Robertson, great little handball back up to Batten. In fact, it's Robertson who eventually gets it off. And he lines up the goals and gets the first for the Giants. Back in the middle. Manly lead by that single goal, and once again they get the ball going forward. That was Pedersen over the top. Balks on the kick, swings around, tries to get around another one. That Pearson, in fact I don't think it was, I think it was Pearson. Now on the arms of Burke. Quick kick into the danger zone. Polar Smith at the back, decides to punch. Not a bad option. Plenty of bombers around this one, though. And he gets it clear. Out into space. Ball skids on as it will. And some good endeavour there. Pushing back was Heslett. And then he's wrapped up in a tackle. Plenty of players over the top. And Heslett. Maybe Haddon. Wearing a different number. This is Heslett. He's dispossessed. Coming again and eventually over the boundary line. D'Souza sees it over for the Giants. We'll have a boundary throw in. One goal on the board so far for Manly Warringah. Very attacking setup from the Giants. Many players fall to the ball, then they work into space. Good work there. Robertson, well, he's been very lively so far. Pedersen back to Robertson. Opens up the goal lines. Goes long, looking for an option. Who's down there for the Giants? That's Fowler. Turns around on the ball. Good picker. Straight on the right boot and straight through the middle. The Giants have got two. Sheer persistence by Manly Warringah. And another good passage of play involving Robertson. And they get another goal on the board. Just see here, through the middle, nice little tap over. In fact, this is the goal before. And just pick up a second goal to Braden Fowler. The rain just stopping at the moment, so just enough to wet the ground, wet the ball. The Giants go forward again. Parker, it's a handball away. Now the Giants turning it over. Jallow in there as well. He's quick and fires, gets some friendly fire from John Gray. They won't want to be doing that. Pedersen just works the ball around the body, gets the boot onto it. Good attack of the football on that occasion. In 19, that's Lomas. But the Giants push forward again. 2-on-1 contest. Fitzgerald did well. Brought to ground. Got to be quicker than that. David Wright. And dispossessed. A good tackle. And a shot on goal coming. It'll be Pearson to take it. Maybe a bit too far out. Decides to go short. Good kick to Fowler. And they need to be aware of that. The Bombers can't rest on it when there's the kicks coming in from that 45, 50 metre area. Normally you'd like to see him take a shot, but not in these conditions. And the dish off was coming. And Fowler, he's got a chance for his second. Just slides off the boot. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full. So not a good result for Braden Fowler. 2 goals straight. The Giants, they lead the Bombers. Yet to score. In fact, yet to really get the ball going forward of their halfway mark. Brain coming on for the Giants. Just worked his way into a bit of space. Goes short. Has to be good. Couldn't take it in, David Wright. Now he gets it off the deck with a little handball. Looking for Shatcher. He just bumps it forward, but it's all Giants in that area. Back to Fowler. His kick was just pressured as it came off the boot. And that one might have been a better option to go out. Eventually it does go out. And Bombers get a chance to reset. We can't afford to let the Giants get too far away from them. Scoring going to be very difficult. Polar Smith, big fist over the top. Riding the bump on that occasion. Calendar for the Bombers. Still in dispute. Umpire sent a free kick here. It's going to be a holding decision. It's going to go to Manly. And it'll be Harrison Kosh to give it off to Pedersen. Pedersen lines him up from 50. That's a little bit ambitious. And just slides off the boot. Accuracy is going to be an issue with a wet Sharon. Kick deep in defence from the Bombers. A big fly there on that occasion from Harvey. quite get anywhere near the ball, but entertaining to watch. Russell again at the back. Works it clear. Plenty of runners for the Giants. In there also Bombers in the form of... It must be... Have to come back. Might be Marquez. They go forward. They get inside 50, but it's going to come straight back out. And the Giants, they seem to have players everywhere. Good mark taken by Atkinson. Goes wide, out in front of Fowler. Just needs it to sit nicely, doesn't do so. Can't quite get it, and he just works the ball over the boundary line. All the attacking coming from the Giants at the moment. No real contest. No high contact, but plenty of tackles involved. And there's Beckett. Ball comes high. Fowler trying to push it forward. Good idea. Unfortunately, it was Bombers in the way. Lavori runs onto it. Some good body there from the Bombers. Make sure this one doesn't go straight back in. The ball sits up nicely. Ben Bow comes wide. Unable to go back with the fire of the ball, but did make the contest. It was Davis wearing the 41, another late number change. Now in the arms of Harvey. They go wide, no one really at home for the Bombers. Back is Carter. Sees something he likes on the far side. They're just cleaning with the football at the moment, the Giants. They drive it inside 50, good length on the kick. Fowler really, not really making in fact it was Polar Smith not making the genuine attempt, I don't think. He just wanted to bring the ball to ground. He does so and goes out of bounds. Another boundary throw in, 12 minutes played. The Giants with 2 early goals, and that is the margin. Fowler in the ruck. They turn around again, just steps inside. Beautiful work by the Giants. Lines them up. This will be a great goal, and it is a wonderful goal. I believe that's Pearson. And as is mandatory these days, he comes off for a rest after a great effort in front of the big sticks. Another goal to the Giants. See Fowler brings the ball to ground. Great work. Just stops, steps inside. It opens up beautifully. Probably not good enough if you're a Bombers supporter. And the goal is recorded. 18 points, the margin. Despite the rain, 3 goals straight. Now, what can the Bombers do in return? Looking for Jello. Couldn't take the mark. Again, he gets himself in the line of fire. Over the ball, umpire will have a close look at this one. He eventually pops out. Just scrubbing it forward, but there's plenty of maroon and white jumpers. Almost a throw out. Umpire lets the benefit of the doubt. Trying to spin out of tackles there. Ambitious. Spoil off the boot. Interesting contest. Jello tries to put it in the path. Comes back now. It's into Saunders. And they drive it forward. The Bombers. Could have been a free kick there. Umpire letting play go. Plenty of Giants around this again. And they get it out of the defensive zones. Coming across Saunders. Couldn't take the mark. Good tackle applied. And not a bad little passage of play there from the Bombers. High throw in. Plenty of numbers around it. Body's on the line. Good tackle once again. Saunders involved. Ball up. Parsons in the ruck for the Bombers. Get this one clear. In the path of Harvey. Dispossessed, but just got a little boot to it. Trying to get it going forward again. Now Harvey. Thomas Harvey. We'll have a ball up. Good tackle applied. Parsons again goes in. Stepping inside. Nice work there from Harvey. Tries to get him up to the danger zone. Awkward bounce, and reading it well. Carter. Kick out of defence. The whole feet there was Marquez. In fact, I think that would be Haddon wearing the 33, which would put Marquez, I believe, in 34. And the mark's taken over the back by Pedersen. Turns quickly, looks at goals. How will this one bounce? It bounces through for a minor score. And another quick scoring opportunity for the Giants. And at the moment, North Shore really don't have the answers. Fitzgerald goes long just to get it out of the area. And a good mark taken. In fact, the umpire's called play on. Comes back to Pearson. Pearson goes inboard. Found Robertson. Too far out to score. Keep an eye on Polar Smith and Fowler at the back. Fowler's calling the taxi and decides to go short, looking for Pedersen. Unable to take the mark. Plenty of bombers around this one. Harvey kicks clear. Now Jallo will win this foot race, but plenty of players around, and it's Atkinson for the Giants. They go forward again. Arms up, David Wright couldn't bring it in. Fitzgerald could have been held. Goes back and gets the footy. Good work from Fitzgerald. Tries to roll out the barrel and get it out of the area. Saunders coming through. Could have been a high contact. Umpire didn't see it there. It was on Hurrell. And the Giants with the ball now. In the arms of Parker. Short. Finds Batten. Spins around on the left. Looking for Fowler. Doesn't fall that way. And eventually the tackle coming. They're under pressure at every contest at the moment, the Bombers. McKenzie goes inboard, finds Strudwick. Handball's not a great one. He might get this back, Strudwick. How will this bounce? Beautifully for him. And he steps inside, hands off again. Nice little handball there. They work it through the middle. Now with Saunders. Going laterally, they've got a player in all sorts of space out here. It's Haddon. Haddon on the left. Pops it up beautifully. They've found some space now, the Bombers. They need this next kick, though. Davis. Drives them to the top of the square. Can they take the mark? Yes, it sits beautifully. And a good mark taken. And this is Genovese. And this for the Bombers first. A little bit of hope in the latter half of this quarter. Kicks from a long way out. Little bit of deviation, but they like it. And Genovese gets the first on the board for the Bombers. Really set up off half back with the running play. Strudwick instrumental. See here, McKenzie got it in the path of Strudwick. Popped it wide, allowing it to bounce was an interesting option. This one was beautifully set for Strudwick. Just brushes the tackle, goes back inside. She comes over to Saunders. Haddon. Genovese on the end of the eventual kick. Back in the middle now. Ball goes wide again. Batten, nice pickup. Skill's been pretty good considering the rain we had just prior to the first bounce. Fowler unable to take the mark. Ball will be thrown up right in front of the I Love Blacktown sign here at Blacktown International Sports Park. Ball falls really at the back of the pack, and it's the Bombers who get the quick kick out of the mess, but it goes right into the middle. Benbow, short to Beckett. His hands have been very good in the wet. Batten, sorry. Batten goes to Robertson. Nice little handball, probably a little bit too much on it, trying to find Benbow. Applies the tackle. Robertson again, just scrubby kick going forward. That's all you need. Polar Smith in pursuit. Playing with it. A bit of danger there was Heslett, and the kick not a great one. The spoil lands in the arms of Benbow. His kick, umpire says, just catches the tape. Little puff of chalk as it went out. Approaching time on in the first quarter. Manly Warringah got 2 quick goals to start the quarter off. Currently lead by 13 points. The Bombers, though, they'd be happy with their efforts. One, to stem the flowing, and then also to get a goal on board. And there's going to be a free kick here. It's going to go to the Giants. Holding the ball was the decision on Heslett. A couple of times he's done a little bit too much, trying to get free of tackles. And on this occasion, the umpire deemed he didn't do enough. Robertson, clearly the best on ground so far this quarter. Nice goal would top that off. Comes off the boot of right, swings back beautifully, measured brilliantly. And Robertson gets another one for the Giants late in the quarter. Have a look at the free kick. Just off the back of this ruck contest. Heslett goes in. Tough decision, but it was there. And Robertson capitalised with the goal. 4-1. Plays one straight here at Blacktown. It's in favour of the Giants. And North Shore just need to find something. Could have been a free kick for kicking in danger. The umpire did see it. Good work by the umpire there. It's going to be... Hang on, it's actually going to go to Manly. See off the back of this centre bounce. It's obviously called contact below the knees. Did. Thought it might have been kicking in danger. Which rule comes first? Doesn't really matter now as the Giants get another one on the board. The back of the 50-metre penalty. I thought that was a bit harsh. I thought free kick may have been going the other way. Just see here. Yeah, it's a tough one. Kicking in danger was there. Either way, we're back in the middle. Margin out to 25 points early in this game. Pedersen again, they're just getting it too easily out of the centre. Hits nicely, and once again David Wright tries to take on the tackler. It's probably not the option in these conditions. You really need to get the ball clear. Can't give any free kicks. It sits out nicely at the back of the pack. And the Giants go forward again, but back relieving mark taken by Murphy. Goes short, Haddon. Good lead, good kick. Desperate to find an option. Davis goes wide and goes too wide. And it bounds on the full. The Giants will get the ball back in. Short kick off target. Beautifully picked up though. Pearson. They load up again. Inside 50 for Manly. Pedersen's lurking. The ball just knocked out of his tackle. Good pick up there by Haddon. And he goes forward. No real target presenting. Genovese at the back. Eventually gets into his arms, but wrapped up in a tackle just as quickly. And we'll have a ball up. Give him a little bit of treatment on his way down. Not in the ruck. Umpire's throwing the ball up very quickly. You can do that when they're trying to get the ball moving. On other occasions, though, sometimes it takes an eternity. Polar Smith steps around one tackle, goes back on the right boot, looking for Fowler. Just a little bit too much on it. Eventually gets to Fowler. Fowler just swings it around the corner. How will this bounce? Bounces one way. Is it touched on the line? It is. Good effort from Fitzgerald. Back in now. Good tack on the ball from Brain and applies the tackle. A bit of feeling in that one. as the siren sounds. And 25 minutes in that first quarter, and the story is the Manly Warringah Giants, well, they've opened up a very handy lead. Started the quarter off under really very wet conditions, and they've capitalised with 5-2. The 6 goals scored in that quarter alone. As I was saying before, in the previous Division 1 match, only 6 goals for the game. But as we go into the quarter time break, the margin's 26 points in favour of Manly Warringah. 5-2-32, North Shore, just that one straight goal off the boot of Genovese. We'll take a short break here at Blacktown. We'll be back shortly with all the action from the second quarter. Just about set for the start of the second term here at Blacktown International Sports Park. It's been all Giants so far, as Manly Warringah skipped out to a 26-point lead at quarter time. 5-2-32, North Shore. Just a single goal. They'll be keen to start this second term off a little better than they did in the first. The rain's staying away at the moment. The ground very, very wet, as we had that storm right at the start of the quarter. All set for the second term. Russell just beaten for the ball. Going through. Off the hands there of Johnston. Pedersen again, lively. Drives them forward. Batten just overruns it. Fowler went in, didn't really attack the football. Batten, on the other hand, he did. Gets the ball forward, swings it around the boot, just couldn't get it around the corner. Just the minor score. So Fowler's attempt there. I understand the wet conditions, but didn't really attack the football. Tried to finesse it with the arm. Bombers get the ball out of the area. Haddon just overruns it. Boundary thrown right in front of the Manly Warringah bench. Third man up was Murphy. Goes and gets it again. Gives it off to Carruthers. Just gets the ball going forward. It's a little bit of assistance. Eventually it lands back out in the arms of McKenzie. Stepping inside. Carruthers again. Gets it off for Hurrell, but the Giants have forced the turnover. Murphy took too long, holding the ball. Another opportunity, another instance there of the Bombers defenders trying to do a little bit too much. Smother comes, Polar Smith spins out of one, dishes off, gives it to Parker. Parker pops it up, looking for Fowler. Fitzgerald the better on that occasion. Fowler asks the question. Not forthcoming. Good little battle, that one, between Fitzgerald and Fowler. Carson's in the ruck for the Bombers. Murphy's kick smothered. Fitzgerald goes again. Target there was Davis, has just flown over the boundary line. And Max Carter with the football will drive them inside 50 again. Leading the chase, Fowler at the front of the ball, and almost spoiled there by Polar Smith. Fitzgerald in there as well. The ball goes over the boundary line. Clear again, Murphy with strength. But the turnover comes again. Carter reading it well. Plenty of players leading. Batten's all on his own through the middle. Run into a bit of traffic now. Goes back, Murphy with a big fist over the back. We'll see a boundary throw in. 3 minutes played, second term. majority of the ruck work. Eventually there'll be a free kick going to North Shore. It'll be Mackenzie to take it. Goes across to Fitzgerald. Giants have manned up well. Lead coming from Davis. He's a long way away though. He goes in that direction. Has to do a bit of work at the back, and beautifully done by Davis. Protected the body well. And brought the mark down with a good clean pair of hands. Now looking at Parsons. Has taken the mark. Going a bit early. The big ruckman. Goes short. They've worked this well so far. Mackenzie's backed up. There's good work in the defensive half. Genovese will be the target. Not for this kick though. Seems to be setting himself for a lead. Murphy's pushed up the ground. Strudwick in there as well. And some good work. Pushing through by Davis. Could have been taken high. The umpire didn't see it. And the kick comes up. Goes to Harvey. Better set up at the moment by the Bombers. Nice work again by Parsons. They move it on. They've got the numbers here, the Bombers, and a good mark taken Murphy. Get the sense that they've upped the work rate, the Bombers. Trouble, I think that's Benbow coming off the Giants. Keep an eye on that one. Genovese at the back, couldn't bring it down. Good tackle by Carruthers, not rewarded. Gets out, Jallo just taps it in front of himself. Gets a kick to it somehow. Robertson back there for the Giants. Turns it around the corner. And it'll go over the boundary line. Chaired off here. Helped off, that is. In fact, it's Johnston for Manly Warringah. Left ankle. All over the top from Pearson. Do a bit of trouble. Come through Saunders. Eventually Kosh gets it out. Batten. So clean at the ground level. And they get it a clip, but good play by the Bombers. Man in front. Oh, Pedersen called that and very nearly got it. Haddon. It's interesting that one. Umpire didn't pay a 50-metre penalty. Pedersen was well inside the projected zone. Was falling for the ball, so he wasn't doing his best to get out of there. Burke for the Giants goes to the far side, pushed off the back of the pack was Haddon. David Wright, now Fitzgerald, hot pursuit. Fowler gains about 15 metres and the ball goes out of bounds. James Brain coming back on for the Giants, wearing the strapping tape around the head, so must have copped one ground level. Pushing through. Russell with a big body work on that occasion up against John Gray. Yeah, interesting this one. The umpire will have a close look and so I'll have it. Thought he might have pulled the trigger on that one. Polar Smith was parked over it. Didn't really show signs of trying to get it out of there. Just a little tap over, but plenty of players at ground level. Murphy hits it at pace, but he's tackled just as quickly. Brain swings the boot around and gets it going forward. In there, Marquez. And eventually it hits the deck and we'll have another throw up. Just right on the top of the square, centre square that is, for Manly Warringah. Fowler, Marquez gets the ball going wide. Carruthers, they've started this quarter much better, the Bombers. They just need to transform that into goals. Carruthers working hard as he always does. Saunders now on the left, going forward, but not a great kick. Chopped off, going back with the flight by Harrison Kosh. Pops it up, finds Brain. Real option, tried to play on early. Eventually turns it over to Haddon. Haddon to Harvey. And Harvey's kick was intended for Murphy, but off target. Goes out of bounds on the full. Inboard to Brain. Slowing the pace off the ball a bit at the moment, the Giants. Tries to finesse something in, going to Fowler through his hands. Swept upon by Mackenzie, tackled. Umpire will come in and sort this one out. 8 minutes played in this second term. Just the one behind scored so far. Fitzgerald dispossessed. Murphy just slaps it out, trying to find the ball into some space. Get it going forward. Good pickup, but tackled just as quickly. Could have been low, that one, but the umpire says play on. Wern swings it around the corner. Pedersen called to play on. Drives them inside. It's all Bombers back there, though. Touch, but the Howes Battens run on the ball, read it beautifully, and swung it around the corner. And we do get our first goal of the quarter, and it is a Giants major. The 8.5 minute mark. Giants get the first of the second term. Starting to get a little bit beyond the North Shore Bombers at the moment, with the margin setting at 33 points. Really, with only the one goal on the board, they haven't looked like scoring. It was a good individual effort by Genovese to take a strong mark. Here they go again, the Giants. That was inventive. Sometimes called a throw, that one, over the shoulder, but on this occasion not. Lands in the arms of Brain. Goes short. Found Fowler. And that's just too easy by the Giants. Fowler will line up. Steps over the paint, Braden Fowler. Already kicked a couple this afternoon. Nice measured approach. Looks good off the boot. Just slides right, just the minor score. Won't be happy with that. 6 goals for now, the Giants. Margin 34 points. Haddon. He was the intended target, but just sit nicely for him. He takes the chest mark. Now moves them forward. Another chest mark taken. Some good work on that occasion by Davis. The kick, though, just out in front of Carruthers. Hits it at pace, gets it high. Always does. Strudwick's kick is a good one. Inside, looking for Genovese. Turns on it. Just wants to put it out in the front. Could have tapped it to Jallo, but it's some good defensive work here from the Giants. Under pressure. And eventually over the boundary line. Just thought he was going to turn it around. Very Jeremy Cameron-like Genovese there. Just turned the body in the marking contest. Tried to bring it down to his advantage. Russell works his way forward. Tap down. Strudwick overruns it. Going in again. On that occasion. It was 19. It's been a number change. In fact, it's Lomas. Now the Giants working. Could have been holding the ball. Umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. Polar Smith spins in one tackle. They just can't seem to get the arms wrapped around him. Mark not able to be taken by Shatcher. Now Fowler meets it. Fitzgerald disposes of him. And that battle continues. Come back to Fitzgerald. And they get it forward, the Bombers. Now Polar Smith has a chance to take away any advantage, and does so. Working his way back there was Batten. Couldn't take the mark. He gets the second option. Goes to ground. Didn't quite get rid of it in correct fashion on that. I don't think so on that occasion. Eventually the tackle by Fitzgerald sees the ball over the boundary line in the arms of Pearson. Just lifted a little bit in the last couple of minutes. Some heavy tackles. Push through. I think it was Haddon. Murphy steps inside. His handball was shark though. Still in possession. Big hit on Strudwick. In there again was Saunders. In fact, it's Harvey. Another boundary throw in. Just feel the intensity lift when it gets in front of the crowd side here at Blacktown. Tend to get involved. Good ruck work from Fowler. Pops it out. Saunders. In fact, it was Atkinson. Actually comes back to Kosh. Dispossessed. The umpire says holding the ball. Haddon decides to go, and the umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. He's a bit lucky there, Haddon. Codling. It comes back to Haddon. Short. And Mackenzie. Mackenzie out in the front. In at the back. Genovese was there, overran it. So too was Callender. He's just bumped out of it. Whitten throwing his body around in defence. Good work from Genovese there. Keeps it in play. Jallo tries to get it up. Just goes to his feet a little bit too early. So it goes to ground. Pedersen, nice little touch up. Now the Giants have got a little bit of run. Oh, well done, Fitzgerald. Just attacked the incoming ball and then drives them long. Brassel back there. Saunders unable to get in the contest. They go again. Pedersen sets them up as he often does. Brain comes back through. Batten just couldn't quite find the handle. And this one will be wrapped up, you'd think. In fact, Batten has other ideas. Goes back inside in front of Beckett. Beckett throws it high. Sets it up for Fowler. Underruns it. It's worked under the ball as well by David Wright. Turns around. How will this one bounce? Look at this. On a string. Fowler's kicked it from the boundary line. And the Giants get another one. Margin now 40 points. Miraculous goal. Beckett initially overran it. Fowler going back, just throws it on the boot. Thank you very much. Lovely bounce. And goes through. Another goal to the Giants. 15.5 played, second term. Giants with a couple of goals. Here they go again. Beckett. His kick a little bit more penetrating. Looking for Fowler at the back. Sticks one arm out. Can he get around the corner? Tries to get on the boot. Running through and just overran it to Souza. Got himself into a bit of trouble. Trying to swing the right boot around to it as the rain starts to fall a little bit now. A little bit going on. It's D'Souza at the bottom of that. Oh, does the right thing. Gets the ball moving again. And almost instantaneously as the rain starts to fall, the packs start to form on the ground. This is the problem that North Shore have. As Pedersen steps around a couple of people and throws on the boot just for the minor score. Comes in waves, this rain. It's very similar to what it was prior to the match. Just real thick, heavy rain. Parker is the target. Brain getting back on it. Does the old TJ Hooker roll for those old enough to remember. And eventually it's out of bounds. Murphy, third man up. Only goes as far as James Brain. Kick was touched off the boot. Pedersen attacks and trying to work a handball out. Now in the path of Mackenzie. Ball stays in. Mackenzie's tackled as he grabs it. Carruthers in there to assist. Gets it up. Playing with the boundary line and eventually goes out. Assisted over by Ryan Wern. Another boundary throw in. Tough conditions for football. Throw goes over the back. Murphy found himself in space as the ruckman. Haddon, good pick up. Comes around the corner. Not a bad little effort that. Didn't really have a lot to go to and disguised it well. Goes out of bounds. As we approach the 18-minute mark with the rain just sheeting down at the moment. Hear the rain. How intense it is on the roof here at Blacktown. Jallo wrapped up. Carruthers in there trying to rip it out of Jallo's hands. He does so eventually, but the umpire says, I'll have it. And they'll be looking forward to a little bit of break at the half-time, both sides. North Shore really haven't been able to get any ascendancy in this game. All players decided to leave it go. The ball didn't want to go out. Eventually, Mackenzie it was who assisted. Hands now, it's tough football to get onto. You can see the water starting to pool around the players' feet. Just no real options for clean football at the moment. Eventually goes another out of bounds. Approaching time on in the second quarter. Low scoring quarter. Just the 2 goals to the Giants. Robertson over the top. Binbo gives it to Brain. Attacked by Jallo. Ball spills clear. Brain pleads his case. The ball still in motion. Bottom of that pack. Genovese, I think. Marquez along with Lomas. The ball comes out. Pedersen took too long, holding the ball. Good tackle by Mackenzie. Too far out to score, you'd think, in these conditions. And there's plenty of players around. Decides to go short, not a bad option. Lomas. Still think this is a tough kick from here. Signals. He's going to have a crack. Opens up the angle a little bit and then closes it down with a kick that floats out of bounds on the full. Not what the Bombers needed. With the time on in the second quarter, the Giants lead by 41 points. They have this game well in control. Loomis getting involved again. Umpire said ducked his head. Ball up. Such an important game for North Shore. They really needed to try and get the 4 points this afternoon to stay in touch with that top tier of teams in the forms of the Manly Warringah Giants, potentially Pennant Hills and the East Coast Eagles also in that group. Strudwick just couldn't quite get control. Spills clear. He'll be happy to. The umpire's told him to knock it out. Usually when you hear that clearly and it doesn't come out, set yourself ready for a penalty kick. Free kick as it's more commonly known. Pedersen just taps it forward off the boot. Haddon stops the run though. Mackenzie been lively in this quarter. Quickly kicks the ball forward. Nice pick up. Beautifully done. Off there to Parsons. Parsons kick inside 50. No one really getting onto it. Robertson handballs off. Genovese throws it on the boot. You've got a player free in the goal square. Brassel back there assisted the ball over the line and rushed behind to the Bombers. It's Bonnie wearing the 30. There was a change. I've been calling him Brassel most of the afternoon. Reflex action when you see the number and also in the ruck, so my apologies. Brain over the top. Saunders back for the Bombers. The bodies around as well. Brain goes again and find a player right on the 50-metre arc in the firm of Eric Burke. His kick's not a great one. Slid down. And the Bombers have coughed this one up here. Oh, they've opened up all sorts of space there for Lavori to swing around on the right boot. And just touched over the line. 22.5 played. Margin 41 points in favour of Manly Warringah. Light's really starting to take effect now. Kick comes out. And eventually it's a good one. Falls in the arms of Parsons. Takes a nice check mark. Carruthers kicks smothered off the boot. Still goes forward though. Jallo does well to work his player around the ball. Picks it up, likes to run. Goes one way, gets around and the siren beats him. And there wasn't a lot of time on as expected. And at the 23-minute mark, the siren goes. The work being done by the Giants sees them 41 points up. 7-6-48, Manly Warringah. North Shore, 1 goal, 1-7. They just couldn't get anything happening again in that term, the Bombers. The Giants, on the other hand, well, they didn't have it as freely as they liked it. And the way they had it in the first term, Bombers did work their way back defensively. They certainly lifted their work rate, but still able to get a couple of goals on the board and maintain this commanding lead as we head into the main break. It's Manly Warringah 7-6-48, North Shore 1-1-7. We'll take a short break. We'll be back. All the action from the second half. Just about set to get underway here in the third term. And if you were online during that halftime break, you would have seen there have been no let up in the rain whatsoever here at Blacktown. It is still teeming down and just makes the task ahead of the North Shore Bombers just that even more bigger. They trail by 41 points as we go into the second half. And the ball, the field, the players will just be soaked through from this rain. See there the big puddle forming in what would normally be the centre circle. Underway in the third term. And straight away the Giants get it out. You can see the water at the ground level. Nowhere to go. It's just going to be one of these games that's played at the ground level with the occasional kick forward. Giants on attack. Burke, ground level. Carruthers ends up with the football. And he just throws it on the boot. Trying to get it out of the area. Numbers in favour of Manly, but they've just coughed it up. Jello in there, trying to hold feet. Eventually it gets wrapped up, and the umpire will come in and ball it up. Harvey it was for the Bombers at the bottom of the pack. Murphy into the ruck. Now gets out to McKenzie. McKenzie's kick around the corner. Saunders in space. Didn't really put it to his advantage, and eventually it's run over the line by Lavori. For the Giants, we'll have a ball in. Right on the attacking 50-metre mark for the North Shore Bombers. Scrub this forward and just hope that a little bit opening comes, but Benbow has other ideas. Another boundary throw in. Wonderful conditions if you're a Duck. Unfortunately, not so great if you're playing Australian rules football. But all credit must be given to those at head office to ensure that this game's went underway today. Brain gives away a free kick. A lot of ground closures in Sydney. And this game eventually scheduled to be played at Weldon Park. Issues here. It's Calendar. It's a heavy tackle. It's up now though. Kick goes forward. Good one in the end. Found Murphy in a little bit of space. Too far out to score. Played on now. Called to play on. Goes one way. Thought he could get away with it. Eventually tackled, holding the ball. And the Giants run. Batten been one of their best this afternoon, Manly. Live wire up forward. Created a lot of play. Kick inside's not great though. And hands in the arms of Strudwick. Strudwick goes wide. Players locked up now, looking for Carruthers. The kick was good. Judged to be the required distance. About 70 out. Drives them long, looking on that occasion. Gray, but it's Pedersen that comes away with it. On the left boot, through that muddy, waterlogged centre wicket. Polar Smith with the big show. Got himself into a bit of trouble though. Eventually gets out of it. It was Witten. They drive it forward, but this one will sit nicely for Marquez. Couldn't take the chest mark though. Polar Smith backed up. Marquez did well to keep the ball out in front. David Wright gets it forward into the arms of Callender. He's recovered. Umpire's going to call him 50-metre penalty here. It's over the mark. One of those ones where they blow the whistle to hurry them up. Callender. It's the advantage. No one really on the mark at the moment. They come now. He decides to just get it up there inside 50. No one at home though. Bonnie couldn't do it. Jallo tries to get it around the corner. Couldn't do so. And just the minor score. Good space to work in now for the Giants. Carter it was. Now he puts his teammate under a bit of pressure. On that occasion, a long kick might have been what the doctor called for, and they've coughed it up here. Carruthers, as always, been one of the best for the Bombers so far. Slots it in there nicely. Found Lomas, and he'll go back and line him up. Distance probably won't be an issue. Very tight angle. Outside for the left footer though. Just couldn't quite get the turn on it, and it's eventually punched through for a minor score, but better signs for the Bombers. It's rain. Showing no signs of slowing down this afternoon. It looks like it's set in, could be set in for some time yet. Haddon dispossessed. Polar Smith pops it up. They've worked this well, the Giants. The kick just pushes it forward. It'll just sit up in the wet. The players will converge. Eventually, it's close to the boundary line and eventually over it. And we'll have a boundary throw in. Frustrating conditions for footballers. Really changes the nature of the game when you just can't get that free flowing football happening. It's certainly what Manly Warringah prided themselves on the last couple of years in the competition. Getting back there from Batten, spins out of one, throws it on the left boot, lines them up. Umpire has a good look. A great goal to the Giants. A little bit of something out of nothing. Back was an interesting one by Harvey. Not sure who he was going for. Slips out the tackle, Batten lines them up. Ugly looking kick, but they don't judge them on style. They judge them on accuracy. And he gets the goal. Attacking start to this quarter by the North Shore Bombers, but it's the Giants who get the first on the board. Ruck work, and the clearance comes, probably the cleanest clearance of the afternoon, going back with the fly of the ball. That was courage from Carter, and leaves a bit of pressure. Another player down. High contact's going to be going to Mackenzie. Chance now for the Bombers to go back into attack. Sets a task for Haddon. Eventually hits him on the chest, but he's unable to take the mark. Good second effort though. Spun around, now finds an option short. Put it up there, out in front. Unable to get there. And a good tackle. It's Codling. Jallo in there as well. Haddon goes to assist and just gets caught up amongst legs, arms and feet. Have the ball up. Codling doing the ruck work. Pedersen couldn't quite find clean football. Carruthers dispossessed. Spills free again. Off the deck from Pedersen. Found Batten. Jeez, he's been good this afternoon. Goes one way, goes around. About 4 players. Clean football as well. Marquez tracks this one back. Good pick up off the wet deck. Goes back and finds Parsons, unable to take the mark though. They're in trouble now, the Bombers, as Polar Smith takes over. Fowler will break. Good tackle. Umpire didn't reward the effort. And another good effort from the Giants. In the form of Atkinson. Pedersen in the area as well. They need to work this over the boundary line, the Bombers. They haven't done so. Atkinson again tries on the tackler. Would have been rewarded. Umpire letting it play. Marquez could have been taken high. He says no. We'll have a ball up. Whitten in the ruck for the Giants. Marquez eventually sees it over the boundary line. And we'll have boundary throw in. Rain. It's just a permanent fixture at the moment. Hear it through the effects mic on the roof of Blacktown International Sports Park. Mentioned before, it wasn't originally the scheduled match of the week here between these two teams, but the thought of being on top of a scissor lift at Mike Kenny Oval, bringing you that game between Pennant Hills and the East Coast Eagles, was just wasn't going to happen this afternoon with this weather. It's wrapped up and tackle again. Plenty of numbers around this. The ball really not travelling a great distance. The umpire will have a close look at it. They like these situations where they can find a free kick, get the ball moving. Marquez strong at the bottom of the pack. Plenty of tackling. Murphy in there as well for the Bombers. And then a little bit of spite. Another ball up. The numbers around this contest not coming out cleanly from there. Off the deck. Pedersen had a little run of it. Now Jallo tries to go under the back, does well. Marquez tries to push through as well. Jallo's wrapped up in the tackle. Benbow, ground level, another ball up. Like a rolling scrum at the moment. No one really getting all out into open space. Maybe now, Strudwick couldn't find a run at it. Jallo hits Brain hard. Now Carruthers has a spot. He's eventually going to kick it off the deck, and it's bounced too high, ended up in his arms. Gets it scrubbed forward. Too easily stepped around. 3-on-1 contest sets a task for his teammate in Eric Burke. The ball eventually goes over the boundary line. You call that a win for the Giants. Had the numbers. Time called. The ball stuck up. Front row. The umpire's going to throw this in. Strudwick's still in the third row. You'd think he might wait, seeing as so Strudwick's actually off the field at the moment, so that negates that situation. They get a bit of run now. There was Saunders, drives them forward. Haddon in the area, they get it off. Kosh goes inboard. They've got a bit of run, the Giants, through the wet middle. Oh, look at that pick up in the middle there. Beautifully done again. Lavori, handball was left a bit to be desired. Burke applies the tackle. Ball's not clear. And the Bombers try and work it out into space. But on a day like today, the skill's just not there for either side. Back to Saunders, just pops it up, looking for a kick. And Carruthers takes it easily. We'll just settle this one down. 12.5 played, third term. It's the 1 goal scored so far. Back to Carruthers, the old 1-2. Orwell was flying through there. Luckily, it didn't make contact. Pushing back there is Gray. And here also is Bonnie. 2-on-1 contest now. Some good assistance by D'Souza. The ball goes over the boundary line. Murphy on that occasion probably setting himself as a designated ruckman. He was shepherded out of the contest and technically probably could have got a free kick. Doesn't so now. Polar Smith sits nicely for him. Takes an extra step. It's an ugly looking kick going forward. But once again, they don't judge him on style. They judge him on accuracy. And Polar gets another goal for the Giants. Good pick up. Falls beautifully there for Polar Smith. Thought he might have taken one too many steps. Was able to get the boot to ball. And bounces straight. Get another one. Murphy now out of the middle. They break. Good run coming. Harvey. In for Haddon. And here's Kosh. Butters up for a second option. Not coming out of there. A little bit of feeling in it. Good coming. Third man up, Murphy. Pedersen. A big high fin. Could have been a free kick. Unscan umpires letting them go. Jallo tried to invent something. Siding junior. Alex Jallo. Having much run at it this afternoon. In there, but Robertson had other ideas as he drives forward and the ball going in the Giants' direction. Numbers in favour of the Bombers, doing a little bit too much with it at the moment. And Strudwick almost tackled, did well to keep the ball moving. They need to get it going forward. Short kick is a good one. Back to Strudwick, stops, goes the other way. They've got runners on the far side. They load up, it's this kick that's falling over. McKenzie gets it to out there, eventually to Murphy. Murphy plays on, lines them up, goes long, but it's offline. And well offline, out of bounds on the full. Giants now with the short kicks out of defence. Finds Pearson. Just inside, Benbow. Out into open space, it's foot race. Now this one's skid and slide. Work by Codling, but in the end numbers win out. Benbow followed up his kick. Was able to get another stat. Inside 50, Polar Smith. Quite the turning circle you'd expect in dry weather. Goes out of the bounds with a boundary throw in. 16.5 played, third term. Giants by 51 points. They've got this one pretty well locked up. Just playing it out now in atrocious conditions. The ground, on the other hand, is holding up very well. Surface water. Certainly not the mud heap that you could sometimes expect when you hit this much rain. Draining well. Strudwick goes inside. Got runners, the Bombers. Feeling Manly have stepped off a little bit. Just doing the required efforts when needed. Carruthers leads the race. Tries to pick it up. Couldn't do so in the wet. Goes back to go again. Gets a hand amongst it. A free kick to Kosh. He's wrapped up. Carruthers in there again. He's up against Wern. Carruthers again. Third, fourth, fifth efforts. He'll get it again, bat it forward. He's out on his feet at the moment, and we're happy to see it fall up eventually. Unopposed is Parsons. Eventually picks it up off the deck. Tackled as he tried to kick it. Good work by Atkinson. Gets them running forward. The hand off from D'Souza. Pedersen got the ball clear. Tried to call the umpire in for holding the man. Wasn't forthcoming. The defence has been very good this afternoon. Manly Warringah. And once again steps up when required. The arms there of Strudwick. Another boundary throw in. Like the second term, only a couple of goals forthcoming in this third term. The rain really stopping any major scoring opportunities for either side. Kick off the deck, could have been in danger there, Atkinson. Don't see a lot that call these days. Wrapped up again. Really hold high hopes for a skillful affair this afternoon, purely based on the weather conditions. Collar Smith was over the ball, wrapped up in a tackle. Very heavy downfalls happening north of Sydney, the northern part of the state, into Gold Coast and Brisbane. Rain gauges topping out in the hundreds of millimetres up in that area of the state. Haven't quite had that much, but certainly has been fairly persistent over a number of days. Colin Smith tries to get through it again. And once again, it's wrapped up. Atkinson throwing his body around in that passage. Spare a thought for the umpires as well this afternoon. They've been out there amongst it as well and have done a pretty good job this afternoon in trying conditions. Brain dispossessed. Good work there by Davis. And eventually another ball up is forthcoming. A push and shove. Into time on in the third. Should only be a couple of minutes as Saunders just travels that one forward, gets a little bit of a meterage advantage. Boundary throw in. Bonnie. No one really gets it out there. Pedersen tries to swing the ball out with the boot. It goes over the boundary line. We reset and do it all again. Back. Murphy trying to be the third man up again. Giants will go forward. Almost the mark taken for Parker. A couple of bites at the cherry. Had it in there as well. Pedersen goes and go and get his own football. Wrapped up in the tackle by Evan Davis. And another stoppage. Work by Parsons. Gets the ball down to Heslett. Tries to get a quick kick away. No real options on that occasion for Harvey. Just indiscriminately handball forward. Kenzie. Oh, really not going in any direction quickly. Scrubby kicks going forward. Parker, handball off, holding the man. Free kick will go to Pearson against Carruthers. Batten still feature heavily in their best players this afternoon as well. Drives on the top of the arc, unable to take the mark. Robertson throws it on the left boot. How will this one bounce? Bouncing beautifully. In fact, the umpire's going to call it hitting the post. Just deviated at the last second. Let off for the Bombers. Margin 52 points. Say not a lot of time left in this third term. Maybe one more effort opportunity for North Shore to score. McKenzie just gets it going forward again. Out of bounds on the full, so no real urgency to get this one back into play. Kosh. Parsons unable to take the chest mark, goes and gets the second effort, needs some assistance now. Gets it in the form of a ball up from the umpire. Click into the 23rd minute mark of this, the third term. And Parsons lucky to get away with that one. Had no eyes for the football. McKenzie tries to scrub a kick. Carruthers did well to get the ball in there. Now Strudwick chasing it and following it over the boundary line. And another stoppage. The ruckmen have done a bit of work this afternoon. Murphy trying to get a run at it. And the umpire's seen it on this occasion. Maybe just trying to see where it's going to go. It does go to Murphy. So that's that designated ruckman that's sitting. He's setting himself well back. And in an attempt to try and cut off his run at the footy, he's been awarded the free kick. Parker for the Giants tracks this one back. Haddon just budged him out of the way. And he's tackled over the boundary line. A real lull in proceedings at the moment. And we can forgive both sides. I mean, the result is inevitable. And just trying conditions for everybody. As the siren sounds to end the third term. And see there some tired bodies around the football. It's three-quarter time here at Blacktown. 9-7-61 Manly Warringah. They lead by 52 points over North Shore. Just the one goal for the afternoon, 1 goal 3-9. And as we break for three-quarter time, the story being a really rain-affected game, but all credit to Manly Warringah, have really got their noses out in front and lead this one convincingly. 52 points to margin as we break for three-quarter time. Join us back here in about 5 minutes' time. All the final quarter action. It's the Giants by 52. All in readiness for the start of the final term here at Blacktown International Sports Park as the umpire holds the ball aloft and we're underway. The result, you'd think, inevitable. Can the North Shore Bombers just fight their way back? You saw it on the broadcast there. Just held the team in for a little longer than normal. Did North Shore. Words there from the coach, just trying to will his charges to peg some of this lead back. James Brain around the corner, gets it going forward. Batten, still wide wire for the Giants. Real conditions suiting his style of play. Parsons and Bonnie will go at it. Hands in the arms of Bonnie, turns around the corner and goes to Batten. And he runs on the left boot, not his greatest kick. Tries to go underground and gets there. Eventually Robertson tries to dish off a couple of times. Eventually Fowler finds himself in space, spins around and misses. Just pushes it to the left. He had a bit more time than he thought. Let's fly for this one. Carruthers, bit of an air swing. Scooped out of the back of the pack there. Scrubbed forward again. Nice little bit of work for Pearson, but his kick goes out of bounds on the full. McKenzie to bring the ball back in for the Bombers. A couple of options across goal. And, careful thinking down those lines. Doesn't. Murphy. Tackled. Pedersen gets it forward. Fortuitously goes to Burke. Bounce goes over the top of a few players. Eventually, North Shore. Fowler just gets rid of his opponent. Wrapped up by McKenzie. He's going to be in the... No, holding the ball's the call. Fell free illegally, said the umpire. McKenzie's kick's a good one. Finds Harvey. 1-on-1 contest. They've got an extra man through the middle. They go for that with Strudwick. Good work from Ryan Wern to get back in there. Pedersen picking up statistics at will. Goes back to Wern. Handball over the top. A little bit of pressure for the running Lavori. Now Jallo turns it around the corner looking for Haddon. Troubled out of it. Ball spills free. Saunders takes the football and it goes over the boundary line. Plenty of numbers around here. Murphy pleads for the free kick. Not forthcoming. Goes clear. Robertson leaves it behind. Ends up there in the arms of Lomas. Kick inside, holding the man umpire. Let's go against Polar Smith. Robertson makes sure it was all Giants at this one. Bonnie gets the ball clear. Phone Polar Smith. Turns Jallo inside out. Goes back onto the right boot. Lines them up. Going into an open goal was Pedersen. He let it roll. And it was offline. Probably had a run at that, did Connor Pedersen. Plenty of numbers here for the Bombers. Parsons couldn't take the mark, so go back and get it. Tries to get the handball out to Murphy on the outskirts. Murphy's tripped. And eventually the umpire saw it. And the Bombers take it away. 1-1 contest and a good mark sliding into it from Haddon. His kick in board gets to its eventual target. Marquez now under pressure. Coming was Pearson. Once again, Lomas trying to get the ball clear. Umpire letting this one play for a very long time. Eventually comes in to throw it up. Another injury concern for the Giants. Murphy gets the ball down to Strudwick. Back to Lomas on the left boot, but it's just plenty of space there for Brain to take that one unopposed. Swings them back through the middle of the ground. Ben Barrell on a run. Hits the puddles just as he kicks it. Puts it out in front of Robertson. Polar Smith, nice clean hands below the knees. Turns around, gets it onto Robertson. Robertson gets around one. Gives it back to Polar Smith. They're waxing lyrical at the moment. They've coughed it up. And eventually the ball very close to the boundary line and then assisted across. And a little bit on here. Robertson gave him a little bit of a shove to John Gray, and he took great offence at it. And the free kick is going to go to Robertson. Just a little shove after the ball eventually went out. Ball's out of bounds again now. Still a little bit of fire in this one. Yeah, local rivals North Shore and Manly. A bit of movement of players amongst the two sides over the years as well. Robertson's kick smothered off the boot. Just going forward again, Polar Smith on a clean run of it. Almost a mark taken by Batten. Kick out of the air, trying to get the ball out of the area, the Bombers. Seems well stuck in there at the moment. Brain tries to stand up in the tackle, does so twice, just couldn't get the ball onto his boot, and eventually it's wrapped up. Brothers swings around on the boot quickly, but it's all Giants. Drive it back in. We'll take the mark here. Fowler with the big punch. Gets down to D'Souza. Dispossessed in the tackle, but they've got it clear. Pearson now sees something he likes in the form of Batten, and Batten plays on as he is to do. Top of the square, touched over the line. Some good work going back, Shatcher. And another minor score. 55 points to the margin. Parsons put himself under pressure. Kick wasn't a great one. Eventually, Lomas. But stuck in the forward half for the Giants. And it's going to go back from where it came. Inside kick. Murphy forced to punch. Parsons dispossessed. Held on to a little bit long. Umpire agrees. Get the kick. Handball's wide to Murphy. Off hands. Eventually in the arms of Bonnie. Attack on the football. McKenzie at ground level, but it's up nicely for the Giants. Quickly around the corner, Brain trying to find Batten. Beckett was there as well. Gets it again. Second effort. Giving up a bit of space here, the Giants, just to try and get some clean football. Ball sitting on the deck. No one really wants to go and get it. Almost by default, the umpire comes in to throw it in the air. There's a bit of an injury concern for Thomas Harvey. In that pack, the heavy knock. Bonnie leads with the feet. You can't do that. And Murphy will take the kick. Not in a good way, Chris Murphy. Eventually just puts leather on boot. Carruthers gives it out. On occasion it was Harvey dispossessed in the tackle. Carruthers goes again. Beautiful work by Sam Carruthers. Trying to wheel his team. McKenzie couldn't get possession from the smother. And again, it's the Giants. Brain drags it in. Want to be careful doing that. Stands up in the tackle. Umpire will say all clear. And he gets away with that one. Pedersen inside. Polar Smith back to Pedersen. Done very well there, did Polar Smith. And Pedersen's kick is a good one. Finds Pearson. Pearson with the quick hands over the top, looking for Fowler. Can run into an open goal. Quick kick off the boot. And they've got another one, the Giants. Some great work. Sheer persistence from Manly Warringah. Pedersen and Polar Smith working well together. Stood up there. Still found a clean ball back to Pedersen. It's a good kick. Pearson saw a running player in the form of Fowler. Not a great handball, but sits nicely. And the finish just as good. Back in the middle now. Margin out to 61 points. And they go again, the Giants. Illaford, a real blowout here, North Shore. They've only kicked the one goal for the afternoon. They've had good passages throughout the game. Unfortunately, most of them in a defensive manner. Just haven't had a real option moving forward. Tough conditions, but certainly been outplayed this afternoon by the boys from Manly Warringah. Parsons has been good this afternoon. Loomis, and they get it going forward. Strudwick met with a big tackle, gets a kick, the handball away to Lomas, goes back inside to McKenzie. They work it well. The Bombers just need a mark taken forward. Unable to be done there on that occasion by Evan Davis. Good pick up at ground level. It's Harvey, but coming back, stopping the thrust again, Benbow, and a good mark taken by Pearson. Wants to go wide. Robertson with the run. Actually gets there. Straightens up. Jallo will track this one back. Gets around his opponent. Return of speed and found Murphy just on the field. Murphy's kick. It's a good one. To the task. Robertson with a big punch. Denies John Gray. The boundary throw in, 12 minutes played, final term. Giants by 61 points. Haddon tried to get it to McKenzie. Was unable. Another boundary throw in. Just light rain falling at the moment. certain patches of real heavy, thick rain all afternoon. You just see the water splashing up off the ground. Batten, almost like it's not wet for him out there, but he's dispossessed on this occasion, tried to do a little bit too much. And in fact, the umpire's called him holding the man. Well, that's a very interesting decision, because Batten almost had his hands in the air standing the mark. Fellow around the corner. Will this one bounce? Nicely for Lomas. And a good mark taken by Haddon. Works it back inside. Wants to go inboard. The kick was not a good one. And a relieving mark taken by Ryan Wern. In fact, not, it's Tom Beckett. Beckett goes backward to find Brain. Levi Brain goes further afield. Kosh looking for Brain on the run. Actually gets the boot to ball. Carruthers in there at ground level, been by far one of the best this afternoon in terms of work rate, Sam Carruthers. .14 played, third term. They go in again, the Giants. Just falls short of Fowler. Batten back there again. Once again, clean hands. Works himself into space. Back on the left boot. Hasn't got enough of it. And Fowler did well to get the hand in there. Gives it up to Robertson. Robertson's kick across the field. Wasn't really a genuine attempt at a goal. I think he was looking to really spot up Eric Burke on that far side. Just got too much of it. And eventually goes over the boundary line. Slap down. Burke. Again, Pedersen will have a run at this one, but some good hands in there. Pearson and over the boundary line. Ball wrapped up now. Standing up in the tackle, Brain. He likes to do that. Burke throws on the boot. Almost taken by Fowler. Hits the post and we'll have a boundary throw in. Braden Fowler making sure that the boundary umpire knew that it hit the post. He's all over it. Comes in Fowler to do the ruck work. Just give a little shove at the back there by John Gray. Illegally, says the umpire. And Fowler will pick up a shot on goal. Rain just stopping for a while here. Respite from the water, but certainly not in the wet and greasy conditions. Fowler with the free kick from the ruck contest. Kicks into the man on the mark and then hits the post. We'll have a boundary throw in. Not the greatest passage of play at the moment. Both sides are just happy to play this one out. Manly certainly had the wood over the Bombers in recent times. Once again this afternoon they'll come away with the 4 points. David Wright out there looking for Genovese. Haven't seen a lot of him. He's kicked the only goal for the Bombers, but other than that haven't seen much of him as a full forward in a losing side. 17 and a half played. The Giants by 61 points. It was really won in that first term. And really it was tough going from there on in for both sides, but more so for the Bombers trying to peg back what has eventually become an unassailable margin. Standing up in the tackle was Lomas. Can't do anything with it. The umpire has no opportunity, or sorry, no other option but throw it on the boot. Gray moved into the ruck at the moment. Free kick coming. It's going to the Bombers. It'll be Lomas to take it. No real option to go to, so he has to go short. Marquez, quick kick. And the turnover comes. Tom Beckett back with the flight. Another short kick, looking for Pearce. Carruthers couldn't quite get around the tackler. Wern eventually, big fly from Jallo. No mark coming. Lomas forced to play on. Underground kick. Going to be a free kick going to Brain, pushing the back. In fact, it's not. It's going to go to Jallo for contact below the knees. One of those controversial rules that may seem some adjustments over the course of this season and next. Ball on the deck. Kosh picks it up, gets it clear, looking for Pedersen. Giving up a bit of ground here, the Giants. But Beckett is good enough. Get into a bit of space and drive it forward. Pearson, been very handy this afternoon. Sits up nicely on that occasion for Shatcher. Goes inside. Kick-off line. Work by Harvey. Went and got it. And then completely missed his foot. Lomas again. Genovese gets a handball, gets back to Harvey. Goes by hand this time. Kick comes, no real penetration on it, but the free kick will come. Haddon will get a push in the back and a chance to drive them inside 50. Can they get a second goal late in this quarter? We're into time on. A little bit too casual there on the part of Codling, and he's going to be wrapped up in the tackle. Umpires give the benefit of the doubt and will ball it up. Chest mark there for Codling. And ball is wet and slippery, but no real pressure. Carruthers, nice pick up off the deck. Get a little bit of momentum going forward now. The mark almost taken on that occasion by Heslett. Ball spills free. Giants won't want to give up another goal. Ben Bow, hand over the top. And they're clear now. Bowler Smith with absolute paddock in front of him. Goes short now, looking for Pearson, who's pushed up the ground. Jallo, the old head bubble, gets around the tackler. He's off to a teammate, puts him on a lot of pressure though. Carruthers pushing through. And eventually the Giants get the ball going their direction. We'll come back. Comes out to McKenzie. Reaching the 22-minute mark. Can't be a lot of time on once again in this quarter. Over the top of the pack, Carruthers tries to bat it forward. Haddon over the ball. Almost gets pushed in the back by Carruthers. Might have hurt himself here. He might just be out on his feet. Big tackle coming off the bench there was Eric Burke. And a bit of excitement late in the game. Carruthers tries to step back out of the contest. Not wrapped up. Some heavy tackles being applied. This case, Lavori just putting a solid grapple. Away of the Bombers, but Brain back there. Beckett, he's been fantastic, but Polar Smith, he's been good too. So he's a player on his own in Pedersen. Snuck forward of the contest. He'll give it a nice little kick off, and the siren will sound. I don't think the mark will. In fact, the umpire is going to pay the mark. The siren did sound, and the ball's in flight. It really is academic, as Jack Parker will have a shot to finish this one off. Really is academic. The margin 61 points. Maybe a little percentage boost. Comes in now. That is a shocking kick. And it's all over here at Blacktown International Sports Park. And Manly Warringah, they were just too strong in the end, and they ran out 61-point winners over the Bombers. 10 goals, 10-70 Manly Warringah. And North Shore, well, they only managed that one goal in the first term off the boot of Genovese, and that was the only major they scored for the afternoon. A dour affair here at Blacktown. Rain affecting football across Sydney, and just glad we were able to bring you a game this week. It wasn't looking good there for a while, but Blacktown International Sports Park has stepped up to the plate and made sure we got some football on. Manly Warringah, well, they'll take the 4 points and they'll stay right in touch with the top half of the ladder. The Bombers, on the other hand, they dropped their third game for the season and will need some results to start falling their way if they really are going to push for a finals berth in 2015. That wraps it up here from Blacktown. The story was Manly Warringah really set it up in that first term, and in the end it was 61 points the margin. 10 goals, 10-70. North Shore, 1 goal, 3-9. That's been the AFL Sydney Match of the Week. Thanks to BLK, sponsor of the competition. And we'll wrap it up here at Blacktown. We'll see you next week. We'll bring you all the action again in the BLK AFL Sydney competition. Manly Warringah by 61 points here at Blacktown.